Don't fuss. It's harder than I thought. Oh. Okay, if you're on Facebook, can you comment? Let me know you can see me. I need to mute that. Let's mute the microphone. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, if you're on Facebook. Okay, I do need you here. Okay, no, I cannot mute it. Maybe I need to mute my phone. I don't know, you guys. Hey, Melanie. Can you hear me okay? It is so weird because I'm looking at myself on Instagram and Zoom and Facebook, and like it is different. The pictures are different. Facebook is lagging behind, so I just see myself three seconds ago. That's very disturbing. I'm still waiting for Stephanie. Stephanie, where are you? And we are going to have a Q&A just to see what people want to know right now about mortgages, forbearance, deferment, and anything related to COVID-19. You know, what is different now, what has changed. And yes, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to type your questions here on Facebook or on Instagram. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, do you guys have any questions? Melanie, I see Melanie, I see Kathy. I cannot look at my picture because that's very disconcerting. So hopefully Stephanie will join us soon. You guys text her. Okay. I may have to text Stephanie. Let's see. You ready? You ready? So I don't know if you guys hear any feedback. I haven't figured out if I need to turn the volume down or off on my computer or, all right. Okay. Stephanie's coming. Link, Facebook Messenger. Facebook Messenger. Okay, she's coming. And I should turn off notifications, maybe. That would be good. Yes, that. Hey, Gloria or Brent. Gloria and Brent. Okay, Stephanie is joining us soon. Oh, also on Instagram. Let me share it with her. We are officially going live at 1. You guys, we are just kind of setting up. Make sure we have all our ducks in a row. In a row, on a road. All right.
Put on my chapstick.
Hey,
Hi.
hold on. I
All right, what
muted
do I
you.
have to do?
There you go. There you are. Okay, we are live on Facebook, I think, Stephanie.
Hey, everybody.
And I don't know if there's a lag there. It's I do see you.
Okay, well, how do I get on the, you wanted me to do the Instagram thing.
Yes, I just invited you on Instagram. Just go watch it. And once you join me, I think I'll invite you to.
I'm there. I see you.
You are now.
And there is a delay.
I know. So you may need to mute the Facebook if you're on Facebook. Lainey,
I'm not on the Facebook, but I have your Instagram up on my phone and I have my computer on Zoom.
Okay, yeah, don't even go on Instagram. I'll check for messages, but it's very confusing because, you know, if when I watch both of them, it looks slower on Facebook. And also the sound, you know, it's like you're repeating yourself. So I see you here. Let's see, how do I?
Okay. I have, hey, Melanie.
See if you have the option to like go live with me on Instagram. I don't see that option. I thought it would be very obvious.
It's on your story and it shows live.
You don't see that anywhere in there, like go live with Raquel or join?
I'm on your story and it has, you're on there live.
I know. No, but I want you to be on camera too. I thought it would say, you know, if somebody's in there, please help us. But oh, maybe here. There you go. Go live with. Okay.
How do you do that? What am I doing?
Instagram.
I'm in Instagram. What do I do?
Oh, wait, it's waiting for you. I don't know.
Technical difficulties, people.
I know, that's why we're early. We're super early. We're just playing. So if you see me.
Oh, request.
Okay, yes. It's still waiting for you. So I think once you accept it, once you do something, both of us will show on the screen.
On the Instagram page?
Yes.
Well, it said send request to be in Raquel's Realtor live video, and I hit requested.
Okay. Unable to join. Okay, let's try again. Oh, I see. You requested. Okay.
Okay, here we go. It's getting ready to happen. There we are. Okay, let me get it down. Okay.
Let's see. I need to mute it too.
Where's my filter?
Okay, let me see. No. Hold on, let me figure it out. I need to mute it, and I don't know how.
Just cut your phone down.
I did.
Maybe the volume off. Hey, Linda.
Hold on. Go volume 0 or volume. Done. Say something.
Okay. I have the Instagram, thing up. That's high. I've got my computer on and we're on a Zoom meeting and it says we're live on Facebook.
Okay, good. I think we're good.
Okay.
I turned the volume off on my computer.
Maybe I did turn mine down. Hold on. I have to be able to hear you. So my computer.
You have earbuds though, right? Can you do that? I don't.
No, I don't have that. I can hook it to my phone. Let's do that.
That will work. and then turn the volume off on your computer. That's what I'm hearing.
Okay. Hold on. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Better?
Yes, I think we're good. I think it's perfect. All right. We're waiting for people to join in. Hey, Teresa Ashbury says hi. Melanie.
Hey, Teresa.
Yeah, I don't even want to look in there. Like I said, it's just really slow, just crazy. So I'm not even going to look in Zoom. I'm just going to look at Instagram and just see who's live with us. But I'm going to ignore Facebook video. And let's see, can I start a watch party? Let me start a watch party. We're getting ready. Okay. I'm working on Facebook. I'm setting up a watch party. Live. Stephanie. Armistead. For some questions. Others. I'll probably have too many things open, but that's fine. Okay, watch party.
I just want to make sure we can see everyone's questions from Facebook, because I think you've got some people on there. So I'm like looking for, how do we see those?
I am seeing, I have Facebook. If you can have it open too, as long as there's no sound, so we're not like.
My computer's off. I mean, the sound's off.
Okay, good. So yeah, I can do that. So I started a watch party and I'm live too. So there's should be two things. Okay. Yes, I'm watching that. Mary Morgan. Hi.
Okay.
All right. Yes, we're there. We're good. But like I said, it's weird, right? Because you see yourself and it's kind of slow. Yeah, I didn't like that part, but okay.
All right. So what do we want to talk about? Melanie wants to know about FHA and VHDA loans. What you want to know? Do you want me to start this now, Raquel?
Yes, go on. I just saw it.
Okay. So when all this COVID-19 stuff started, all the servicers in the nation that service government loans basically said, hey, look, we cannot buy these government loans anymore. We need to, put a credit score minimum requirement. We need to have you enforce an overlay. And so their number was 640. Some other lenders have gone in different directions and, using a different minimum credit score for FHA loans. But this is in effect because those servicers started freaking out because of the unemployment rate went from like 3.3 million to almost 7 million, then to almost 8 million. And I haven't even looked to see what it is today. Because those people probably have a government mortgage and the servicer saw the writing on the wall and basically were like, hey, we're not going to get our mortgage payments. So the job of the servicer is to collect the mortgage payment from the borrower, and no matter what, they have to pay the mortgage company. They have to pay the movement mortgage. So if you have a bunch of people defaulting on their mortgage and the unemployment rate continues to increase, then those servicers become very non-liquid very quickly. So they had to enforce a cap. So that's where we are on that. So with that being said, we're at a 640. I don't know what other lenders are. We are actively doing government loans and we're told June 1st we should be able to lift that overlay, but that all has to do with what's happening with unemployment. But as far as VHGA mortgages, I mean, they're still doing them. The rates are awful right now. We are not originating those right now. Personally, Movement Mortgage is not. But the interest rates were really bad going out of it. Like 3 weeks ago, they were in the, the fives, ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just trying to slow their roll because, again, they service all their mortgages. And if they, increase the credit score or the interest rate, maybe they won't have people apply for them. But that's what I have to say about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What you got?
Chris Prey asks, what sort of issues have you seen with appraiser turnaround?
With Movement, we pay our appraisers at the time they turn in the report. So we're not really having a problem with the turnaround time on those. And a lot of them they are doing exterior drive-by appraisals. So even like I had a USDA in Gloucester, the appraiser did a drive-by. It'll be turned in today. So, I mean, they're turning them around pretty quickly, but we do pay our appraisers at Movement when their report's turned in. VA is still, I'm finding they're still taking their, 10 to 14 days. They actually have 10 business days to turn in a report. And I feel like they take every single second of that.
Yeah, I've had one appraisal. It wasn't with Movement Mortgage recently, with Quicken Loans, and it was a desktop appraisal.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically just asked me about the property, like what's wrong with it.
Yeah, I had a VA the other day, and it's a refinance and a purchase, and the appraiser didn't even want to go into the house because it was occupied. So they had the realtor not only, they downloaded the listing photos, but they also, asked other questions about what's been updated in the house, and had the homeowner take pictures, to send to the realtor that sent them to the appraiser. So, I mean, they are finding workarounds, but the turnarounds are, I think, fine. I'm not having a problem with those.
Right. Yeah. And from what I hear, it went well. But yeah, he just asked me, there's no picture of the bathroom. Tell me about the bathroom. And okay.
Yeah.
Melanie, I don't know if this was related to her previous question. Are they still lending? I guess, was it FHA? Was that related?
Yeah, everyone's doing, I mean, we're still lending all government loans. Right now, we just require the 640 credit score. We also do the manufactured and that sort of thing. And we did increase the credit score requirement on that to a 680 just for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have the overlay on the credit score, but those are Movement Mortgages only overlays at this time.
Okay.
We usually don't have them.
I don't see any other questions there right now, but it's almost 1 o'clock. I'll wait until 1 o'clock to ask about the entree, the Forebearance. Chris Prey asked, yes. Chris Prey, how are rates on average? I'm guessing very volatile daily.
No, I really feel like, the interest rates today, I'm doing refis and purchases, but they're in the low threes. It all depends on credit score, what type of program it is, that sort of thing. So we just find a couple of options for the client, but I mean, I'm in the threes, the low threes. Wow, not a problem. The market was really crazy. If I quoted a rate 20 minutes later, it may not have been there. I kind of feel like that's kind of, calmed down quite a bit. It was very hectic there for about 4 or 5 days. Stressed me out.
Oh, God.
So.
Well, Mary Morgan, she's my seller. She has a little house in Port Haywood. So it's a bad time to sell a house. Should it be pulled off the market until better times?
Absolutely not. Rates are great. It's a great time to buy a house. So keep your house on the market. Let's get it sold. Have someone buy the house while the interest rates are low. If they start to go up, maybe buyers start to become a little, weary about the rates and they don't qualify for as much. But no, I would definitely sell.
Yeah, we are seeing, this is not a loan related remark, but the numbers are pretty much the same as they were in April, March, if not better, during COVID-19 than they were in 2019 without it, right? The numbers are just about the same. It has not affected the numbers. We were supposed, I guess, to have a better market this year, but it has not affected it negatively in a way that made it worse than last year. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's still about the same, if not better than last year.
I definitely agree. I'm getting several purchase contracts in a week. That has not slowed at all.
No, people are,
I'm getting a lot of rescue deals as well. If something goes wrong, you know, at a different lender, I'm picking those deals up and running with them, just trying to keep them all happy. So it's definitely a time to sell, Mary. Interest rates are low.
yes. There's different reasons why houses are not selling, but mortgage is not one of them right now. Um, what was I gonna say? Um, oh yeah, as far as saving loans, Stephanie does that a lot sometimes. Well, I always refer lenders that I've worked with, that I like to work with, local people. Um, but it's up to the buyers to decide, and they may go with some, an online company or a company you've never heard of before, and in the end, it doesn't work out, right? Even though the rates, maybe they had a lower rate, but it doesn't close for one reason or another. And Stephanie has been a lifesaver for that too. Not only were the rates are competitive and great, but also because you're local and you work with the same people, right? You're underwriter and you're a processor. And so it's just you guys, right? It's not like, I don't know, this is, was John Smith, he dealt with it up until now, and now you don't know what happened before that, right? It's you guys work together and communicate really well.
Right. Everyone knows their place. So we take an application. Everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing. If it's a rescue loan, I literally have rescue all over it, all over the file. You know, I take the lead, I order the title work. I try to get everything in as quickly as possible. And I always ask the customer for the items that I need up front. So I just don't like to come and ask for additional paperwork. It's not something I'm a fan of. But I love rescuing loans. I find it, I love the challenge. I actually took an application on 4/2, and the guy was in Bahrain. It was a rescue deal from a company out in Virginia Beach, and I closed it on 4/10. I had to have my own appraisal. We had to get updated title. The customer, again, was in Bahrain, in a different country, and 7-hour time difference, and we had it closed in 8 days.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and I remember one that you did too, that you saved at. It was an online company too, and everything went really quickly as far as that went. It was a VA loan, and I had the seller, and they were also buying, and they originally had a VA loan on their house, on their current home, then that they were selling, with that same company, right? Remember? Uh, and uh, and everything went well. We had the appraisal, and then after the appraisal cleared, they emailed the borrower, my client, saying you need to bring, I don't know, 20,000 or 30,000 to closing. It was a VA loan, right? They weren't bringing any down payments. Remember that?
I vaguely remember.
Yeah, and what happened? They thought they had used their eligibility, but it wasn't even a VA loan anymore. And it was with that company, and they didn't know that it was no longer VA, right? Remember? It was conventional.
Right.
Yes. So
it's the hottest mess.
I like that about you, that it's not just, this is what it is. You go and look for the solution. I love that.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know, but FHA and VA appraisals, if I'm rescuing them from another company, they are transferable. We don't have to order a new one. Or they don't have to be on our panel of appraisers, but they are transferable and easy to get.
But it would have been better to have worked with them from the beginning, right? But still,
that's the key. Give me all the time I can get. Yeah.
Challenge. Okay, it is officially 1:00, 1:01. And if you just joined, I am here with Stephanie Armistead with Movement Mortgage. I've been working with Stephanie for over 10 years, I guess, right? I've been in real estate since 2008, and I think probably for that long, right? I guess. And she is my go-to local lender, and she's open to questions. If you guys have any questions, type it in the comments here, and we'll address it. Um, One of the things that is, I don't know, at top of mind right now is the CARES Act, right? Forbearance. Can you talk about that a little bit? Is it a good
Yeah,
idea?
it is not a good idea. There's not enough information out there. The issue is, I'm calling it the F word. I posted something on April 6th at 9:46 p.m. Everybody should, go check it out on my Movement Mortgage page on Facebook. But basically, just so you understand, you go and you apply for forbearance or forgiveness, that sort of thing. And if you're accepted, you don't make these payments, but come the fourth month, they're looking for all the money, and it goes against your credit. And so you will not be able to refinance. If you're a seller of a house and you put your house into forbearance and skipping mortgage payments and that sort of thing, when you go to buy your next house, you're going to have a hard time doing that. It's going to go against your mortgage, like your credit. But there's not enough information out there. So what I'm trying to say is, just because it's available doesn't mean that anybody should go and be like, oh, I'm gonna not want to pay my payment because the government says I don't have to. Don't do that. Just
Right. If you can afford to pay, pay.
Yes, if you can afford to pay it, pay it. I mean, there are obviously circumstances that people are in, and it's very sad, but there's not enough information out there. And the fourth month, you're going to have to pay all your payments.
All of them, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that affects both when you're selling and when you're buying. Well,
Yeah.
the seller when he buys.
I mean, it's technically a mortgage late. Like yesterday, I pulled a credit report, and they must have it for car payments too, because these people just bought a car and the new loan just went onto the credit report, and it doesn't even say that they've started making a payment. It actually says COVID-19 auto. And so they bought a car and now they can't pay the payment. So they've applied for forbearance on their car, and it's going to affect their credit if they don't make the payment.
Wow.
So
and something else that I was reading yesterday.
We have a delay.
Okay. Are you there? Are we good?
Yeah, I'm here. Mm-hmm.
Okay. On Facebook, you're saying, right? I think I'm just following on Instagram. I'm not even looking. I'm looking at the chat. Are we live, you guys? If you see us live on Facebook, let us know.
Live. Just want to make sure I answer everyone's questions, so I'm going back.
Okay. Yeah, I see when people joined. Let me see. I think we're fine. I think it is just, yeah, you just can't watch it. But yeah, but people are watching now. But yeah, guys, do send us some reactions or something so we know we're live and you're there.
Happy to answer any questions.
Yes, Mary Morgan sees us. Okay, good. Thank you, Mary. What was I going to say? No, it wasn't about forbearance. It was about, it was about paying your mortgage, it was your mortgage, paying your mortgage or your credit card, mostly your credit card. How important is it should you pay it by the due date or by the statement date as far as pulling credit?
Just pay it by the due date at a minimum, because after that they're going to charge a late fee. And depending on what the grace period is, it may not go against your credit if you pay it like the next day after it's due, but just pay it by the due date. That's just a good rule of thumb.
What about in the grace period? Same thing, because we always pay it on the due date as far as the mortgages. My husband has always paid it on the due date. But I told him, that, hey, there's a grace period. You have 15 days, and so does that count negatively on your credit?
No.
Okay. Chris Prey asks, some of my buyers are excused from student loan debt for 3 months or so. Is this similar to forbearance that lapses payments? Will be due at end of forgiveness period?
So student loans, regardless, are going to be counted. I'm going to get my words together. Regardless of what they are not paying because they're in forbearance, the dollar amount that they owe in student loans, there's a calculation for all the types of loans that are out there, whether it's 1% or 0.5% of that balance, the student loan balance, that is already counted against you. So they use that in the debt to income ratio. Because student loans sometimes go into forbearance, or, you know, they go back, people go back to school and they're not having to pay it, so it's deferred. But as long as you owe the student loan when they go to buy a house, it's not going to be counted as late. It's going to just, the balance is going to be there, so that when they go to buy a house, the calculation is going to show like how much they have to pay, like what we're counting against them, even though they're not paying it. I'm sorry, I hope I didn't confuse anyone on that.
No, I don't think so.
So for instance, if they have a $50,000 student loan, if they owe $50,000, $500 of that is used in their debt to income ratio for qualifying, even if they're not paying it and the loan is deferred or in forbearance. But it definitely needs to have some sort of deferment or forbearance in order to not hurt their credit. If they just decide not to apply for deferment or forbearance on a student loan and they don't pay the payment, then it goes against them. It affects their credit score negatively.
Okay, gotcha. Just worried it would have been counted as late. Good to know.
As long as they have that, they've applied for it. It'll say it. We're very familiar. That's a normal process, the student loan part of it. The mortgage forbearance is the problem.
Okay, what about, thank you for that. Thank you for answering. Thank you for asking, Chris. Reduced hours, hours cut now. So how does that affect them?
So when we're qualifying right now, if someone was normally, you know, 40 hours a week and at least they're working, they have a job, they're, you know, 30 to 32, when they're trying to qualify to purchase a home, we are qualifying them on the lesser hours. So for instance, like 30 hours, you know, a week is what I'm qualifying them for. When they go back full time and they haven't found a house yet, then they may qualify for more because we'd be able to use the 40-hour a week pay. And also just want to mention, anyone receiving unemployment benefits because of COVID-19, that income is not usable in qualifying for a mortgage.
That was my next question.
Yeah, you can't use it to qualify, but it's an asset, so it goes into the account if, you know, if it's deposited, and maybe there are two people on the mortgage, one person's working full-time and the other one's lost their job and is on unemployment. The person who is employed would have to qualify to purchase the home. So you have to have a job to close.
Okay. I think that answers a few of my questions that I had about unemployment. Okay, stimulus check, can it be used as a down payment?
Sure, it's an asset. It's sourceable funds, absolutely. When we look at the bank statement, we're going to see that, you know, the direct deposit, or they would have been mailed a check if they didn't get direct deposit. They should keep a copy of the stub. They have to manually deposit the check, and yeah, we should be able to use that.
Okay. Well, what else do you have to add? I don't have any questions in mind right now. What have you been getting from people, from borrowers and other agents?
I mean, I'm staying very busy with my purchases, and, you know, here and there a refinance will trickle in. I don't focus as much on a refinance, just because our situation is a little bit different because of COVID-19. I can't technically lock a refinance in until I have the documents signed by the client and they've paid for their appraisal. So, you know, there could be like a day lag time, and I mean, rates are not really jumping around a whole lot, so it's okay, but I'm not focusing so much on that. I want to help any client I can. But if I get, you know, purchase, I want to make sure that, you know, there's a timeline that needs to be met for that closing date, and we're going to move as fast as we can to make that happen. So I'm staying busy a lot with purchases.
What about, so you don't do a lot of refinancing? But
I do. What I'm trying to say is that we just have a little bit of a different process. I can lock a purchase in as soon as I have the contract. The refinance, there's like a day lag on locking the rate. And that's pretty standard across the board at all lenders right now. just because of the cost of money to get that from the secondary market. They want to make sure the borrower is, committed, paying for the appraisal, moving forward. But I'm busy with both.
And what about, do you e-sign all your documents?
Absolutely. This is a great question. Movement Mortgage uses something called Easy Sign. And so when a loan is all final approved and scheduled for, closing, like for instance, today, our closing documents go out to the client at 2 a.m., some weird time, 2 a.m. And so if they electronically sign their documents, then typically they have, 16 to 25 pages that they will sign with their attorney or title company. So it's really saved them time. So the documents they're electronically signing are, basic disclosures associated with that program. No changes. So the things that, would change would be the things that they would sign, wet sign with their closing agent or attorney.
Okay.
So it's pretty great, because a lot of the attorneys and title companies, they're really limiting the people that, they're allowing in their office as well. And, like the closing shop, they've been great. They, actually all of them have been great. But for instance, they're having their clients, they have like a table, and, they're like handing them the documents to sign and telling them where to sign. And certainly they'll answer any questions, but it really just keeps the contact down while we're going through this pandemic. Easy Sign's great. We don't do it on some loans, but 99.9% of them we are. I think the HDA was the only one we don't do them on, and we're not originating those right now. So it's a great way to have the client look at the documents, and have questions ready if they have questions before closing. We've been doing it for quite a long time.
What tell me about some of the products that you guys have right now that you want to share, that are kind of exclusive to Movement, or just what stands out with Movement Mortgage right now?
We are doing construction loans. We do conventional construction loans with a 90% loan to value. We do tons of renovation loans. We do all of them. We do the VA at 100% financing. We do the FHA standard and limited, and of course we have the conventional where you can put down 3% or 5% conventional renovations. But we do it all. We do everything but a lot loan right now, and I'm staying busy with all of them. We have certain departments that handle the construction and renovation loans, and that's all they do. And then of course, we're rolling out the USDAs in this, Middle Peninsula market.
Construction
loans are great. I only have the conventional loan right now, but we are supposed to be bringing in the FHA and VA very soon. But what I love about like the VA renovation loan is if you have a veteran and they just really want to be in a certain district, like a certain school district or just whatever their needs are, and they really love like the house size and love the lot, but the house is like just dated and it may not work for them, we offer 100% financing on a VA renovation loan. They can go get a new kitchen, go get a new bathroom, get 100% financing.
I know it doesn't have to be a house falling apart, a fixer up, right?
Yeah.
In addition,
or something simple. Yeah, it's great.
That's good. What else? Said construction. You do construction too. What would be a good option for an investor right now for a second home?
Well, second homes, we finance those all the time. I live in Matthews, so I tend to get a lot of second home purchases on the water. Investment loans, we're definitely doing those as well. We do cash out refinances on all of them. Cash out refinances up to 100% on VA. Cash out refinance up to 80% on FHA and conventional. I'm trying to think. Investment 75%. Cash out refinance. But Chris has a question, not related to COVID-19, but do VA appraisals still remain attached as the VA appraisal and case number for the property for 6 months if first deal falls through? I am told that, yes. I actually had this question asked about 4 weeks ago, and the answer was yes. Someone in my office said no longer attached that way. No, the case number is attached to that property. That VA appraisal can be pulled by the lender from the portal.
Did that answer your question, Chris? I think that was the only questions there. Let me check here. I think nobody's there.
Y'all ask questions.
I know. It's hard to tell if people are there. Thank you, Chris. What else? Any other questions? Let me think now. This went by so quickly.
I know we started early.
I know. I was just testing the machine. Guys, ask some question. It's a Q&A for a reason. Nothing on Instagram. Let's see.
Mainly, it is such a good time to buy a house because interest rates are so low. You can qualify for so much more money when the rates are low. And I don't think that COVID-19 is necessarily scaring people away from buying houses. What some of my other agents are telling me is that, you know, they really don't want people in their house, you know, showing it. And if that's been I think the biggest challenge that a lot of the agents that I work with are dealing with. You know, how do you sell a house with a virtual tour? You know, how do you go under contract that way when you don't really, you know, can't see the inside of the house?
And yet we do, or they do, right? Because military people has been doing it for the longest time, right?
They have.
And they're happy. Okay, so let's say you're a first-time home buyer. You rent, never bought anything. In your 20s, early 20s, where should you start to build up credit or to get ready to purchase?
Well, so in like the normal world, pre-COVID, yeah. I mean, we work with people who don't have credit scores and can get them into an FHA loan, VA loan, and a USDA loan, you know, provided they qualify, you know, income qualify. But with no credit score, you know, we pull together like a non-traditional credit report. We would ask the client for some non-traditional trade lines like car insurance, cell phone that's not prepaid, any sort of utilities, of course, rental, that sort of thing, where we could get a 12 to 24 month payment history, even if it's a closed account, something that they were in good standing, maybe like a rent to own furniture or a gym membership, you know, at the YMCA, and those usually come out, you know, like every month, $30, whatever the you know fee is. But definitely work with first time home buyers, no credit scores. Pre-COVID, now that we're in the COVID era, I guess the virtual era, we have to have the 640 credit score, you know, to do anything right at this moment. But I always encourage people, if they don't have a credit score, get one. And the way that I would start that would be with a credit card. With revolving credit, you can build credit so quickly. I had a girl that I told, hey, look, you don't have a credit score. I need you to, you know, get this. And I can tell them what their credit score will be in 30 days. If they did this, you know, today or tomorrow, it went from a 0 to a 632 in 30 days, just by getting a $300 credit card, whether it be secured or, you know, something they didn't have to put money up to, you know, get the card. But you build credit very, very quickly, more quickly with a revolving account. Use the card, pay it off, or keep $5 on it. Something like that really does boost a credit score very, very quickly.
And what else is important aside? So you have a good credit score. What else is important?
Yeah, having a bank account. I'm working with some people that, you know, have like that green network or money network, Bluebird accounts, that sort of thing, where the employer maybe puts their paycheck on a card.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's okay to have that. You know, you may be scared of a bank but you need to be able to at least show a 2-month bank history and show money coming in and out of it. And a lot of people think, hey, I'm just going to, you know, have my money go on here. I'm going to go to the ATM and pull it all out. Don't do that. You're going to have so many expenses. when you go to buy a house, you're going to have to, when you get your contract ratified, you're going to have your earnest money deposit. How are you going to pay that? Having it documented gives you the ability to give credit for it when you're finalizing your numbers, with the lender and for closing. So you want to get credit for paying your earnest money deposit. If you paid it in cash, it's not sourceable. And so you won't get credit, and we'll have to verify those additional funds. Paying for your home inspection, we want to give you credit for that too. On VHDA loans, you have a minimum investment, and we can give you credit for that minimum investment, even with, using a home inspection cost. And also, paying for your appraisal, you've got to pay for your appraisal up front. Savings accounts are okay. They don't have to have a checking account. Chris, I see your question. Just as long as we can see money, going in and kind of, hanging out, and but large deposits, cash deposits that can't be sourced, they will be backed out of the assets the lender, has on paper. Cash is not good. It's not sourceable. So it really needs to be seasoned. So if someone's going to try to, get like, $9,000 from grandma and she, pulled it from her mattress, then, get it in the bank and let it sit there. We don't want to see it on a bank statement. It just, because it can't be sourced. But having a bank account is important, building credit, just really paying your bills on time. I know it's hard, sometimes, especially now in this, COVID-19 era, but just kind of keeping up with stuff like that, and not going to buy a truck or, a new car before you try to buy a house. Especially when you're, paying a lot in rent and you want to lower your housing. Car loan companies don't have the same debt to income requirements as mortgage lenders. So, try to make those big purchases later if you want to buy a house.
Right. And what about medical bills and things of, I don't know, just know about liens, but what about medical bills and things negative items on your report?
Yeah, so a lender can't tell a borrower they have to pay all of their medical bills, but they do impact the score. I wouldn't necessarily say you need to pay them off, because again, we have this thing called Wayfinder with our credit reporting company. And if I go in there and I kind of play around to increase someone's credit score, and I say that they pay off the collections, it doesn't impact their score, not immediately. So over time it will. If hey, I'm not going to buy a house for a year, but I've got, I owe $6,000 in medical bills. Yeah, try to knock them out. That would be great. But immediately it's not going to change the score if they paid them and expect to have a higher credit score, in 30 days or even 60 days. It does not affect it. And a lender can't tell you to pay them off. If you're in some sort of a payment plan with them, that's great. When you get a medical bill in the mail and you can't pay $3,000, it's really best to contact the creditor and say, hey, look, I can't pay $3,000. I don't have it. What's the minimum you'll take? A lot of times it's low. It's like $5 or $25, and it keeps it off the credit report as a collection. But all non-medical things should be paid if they have, collections with, I see a lot of Sprint and Verizon, utilities, other utility things. Judgments have to be paid before you can, close on a mortgage. So if there's any judgment out there, they do have to be paid, because the judgment can attach to real estate once owned. So a lender won't close on a property with a judgment. But medical collections, no, they don't have to be paid.
Okay, good. That's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned grandma's gifting some money. So what about that? What can be used as a down payment? What kind of funds? 401k gift? What can you use if you don't have a savings account or?
This is great question, Raquel. So, with this whole stimulus thing, I read somewhere that you can get your 401k money without being penalized. You can get your hands on it. So if that's the case, you could pull from your 401k you could do it anyway, as long as, you had the ability to do so with your 401k administrator. But you can always use 401k money. You can use gift money. It is very important to know that when you use gift money, the donor of the money has to provide documentation. And, a lot of, older customers, or just really any customer, if I gave my, nephew money and, you know, his bank, and I didn't understand the process, and his bank was like, hey, I need her 30-day bank statement. You'd be like, what? Why do I got? That's my information. It's okay. The lender's not going to do anything with it. They just want to make sure that the money was there to be able to gift it. So we want to see the money in the donor's account and see it coming out. But if there's any crazy deposits, like, you know, a $6,000 deposit the day before, you know, you gifted it, it has to be explained. And so it's important, you know, cash, do not deposit cash in the bank, grandma, before you go and gift it to your grandson. So, because it all has to be sourced. So
ever, like, even if it was, say, a year ago,
oh,
you had
no,
a large deposit, just recently?
No, just recently. So, so if a $6,000 check is given for, you know, a gift, and we're going to want to make sure we see so we need the donor statement showing they had the money, and we want to show it coming out. So even if it's like a 30-day bank transaction that grandma goes down to the bank and gets a 30-day bank printout, needs to be signed, dated, and stamped by the teller, but we're going to see the money was there and then see the check coming out. So just some additional documentation. And there's a standard gift letter that would have to be completed as well, that the lender will give, you know, to the borrower to have the donor sign and also the borrower sign. But it's great. So definitely 401k money and gift money are good sources for down payments.
Okay, I think we should take this through 1:30, about 2 minutes or so.
Okay.
Closing question, not really question, but a plug. Tell us about your app. That I'll share the link here to the app. How do you use it? What do you do with it? What can you do with the app?
So I have a couple of things. Actually, anybody can apply 24/7 at Home Loans with Stephanie. And so that's my website. And hitting apply is important because it actually allows you to pull a credit report and, you know, go through the process to upload documents and that sort of thing. But the mobile app, the Movement mobile app that you share, also has a link to the actual application. But if I've talked to you, there's no sense in taking an application. You know, if I've talked to you and pulled credit, that's why I like the app that you share. And that app allows for a client to basically use the scanner icon to take pictures of, you know, the documents that are being required. So once someone registers as a user, like they create their own account, I can go in behind them and say, okay, I've talked to this client. I need 30-day pay stubs. I need 2 months bank statements. You know, I need things like that. So, anyway,
hold on, we are off. Let me turn it on.
Anyway, it allows me to request documents. It's pretty cool. And you can kind of use the calculator, and there's other tools in there as a buyer, you know, while you're searching, and it gives you 24-hour access to your loan when it's processing. It lets you know where you are in the process. So, hang on, y'all. I need to turn up my volume. Anyway, it allows me to request documents while you're searching. It gives you 24-hour access to your loan when it's processing. It lets you know where you are in the process. While you're searching, it gives you 24-hour access. Are you there, Raquel? There you are. Where you are in the process.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, but I think we lost Instagram.
We did. I'm uploading it, but yeah, I'm still hearing playback somewhere. I think on Facebook.
Facebook, yeah.
It's very annoying. I cannot.
Well, the main thing, you know, is that it is a great time to buy. We have lots of tools that people can, you know, use with our Movement mobile app. You know, being able to run the calculator, you can find out, you know, like what my payment's going to be if it's the middle of the night. A lot of times you can kind of guess what homeowner's insurance will be, and you can see the taxes. So it's just a matter of putting numbers in and using the tool, the scanner tool, to upload documents to me. And it gives a lot of information on the Movement mobile app. But anybody can apply for a mortgage at homeloanswithstephanie.com on my website. But I do love talking to you if you'd rather talk to me instead.
Well, and what's your number? And you should plug that into the Facebook thing later too. But what's a good phone number for you? If people want to.
Yeah, the best number to reach me is always my cell. It's 804-815-2979. And you can call or text me anytime. I respond to all of it. sometimes later in the evening than I should, but I do it anyway.
You do.
I just don't like things being unfinished. So
Yes, and that's something that I love about you too, compared to, let's say, online lenders, is that you answer your phone, you text back, and you don't have to wait until 9 o'clock on Monday to get an answer from you. So that's good.
yeah.
That's it. I think we're going to wrap it up. Thank you for everybody who joined us live. I hope you were able to get some information out of this. Thank you, Stephanie, for sharing. That's it. I think we're going to wrap it up.
Thank you, Raquel.
Everybody who joined us. Oh, for the headphones. That's what it was on Instagram. Now I can hear me. That's what happened. Out of this. Thank you, Stephanie, for sharing. Right?
Yeah.
I hear myself. All right, I'm gonna log out. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.